We are live here and there's already people in the live chat. If you can hear me, let me know in the comment section that you can see and hear me fine. This is being recorded live. I have some updates on some eBay news and then we'll be going into a Q&A after that. But if you're watching this on replay, you can just get the news up front and the rest of it, just realize that the rest of the video is all Q&A. If you have a question watching this on replay, leave it in the comment section under any of my videos and I'll answer it during my next live Q&A. Actually, probably will answer it right away. But let's get into the news that I wanted to share with you guys. So this isn't exactly new news, but if you're not familiar with eBay's managed payment system, basically what's going on is eBay is slowly moving away from PayPal. They've been with PayPal for a while now, but they are moving away from them slowly and getting their own managed payment system where people can make payments directly on eBay without having to go through PayPal first. That sounds like a good thing because it's a much more streamlined process. Obviously, there's always growing pains with things like that. But the question people have is, how much more is this going to cost us as sellers? And eBay has actually promised us that it's going to cost less if you use managed payment system instead of the PayPal system. Now, they said that, and then all of a sudden, a few months ago, they announced something that really upset a lot of sellers. And what they announced, I'm bringing it up again because they just recently sent out an email saying that they are moving forward with this new plan and it's going to start happening in October. So what this is that currently when you sell something on eBay, PayPal charges a percentage fee and they charge you 30 cents per order. So if someone buys one item from you, they charge you 2.9% plus 30 cents. If someone buys 5 items from you in the same order, they charge 2.9% plus 30 cents, not 30 cents per item. eBay has said they're only going to charge 25 cents, but it's 25 cents per item. So if someone buys 10 items from you, that is 10 times 25 cents. So that money will add up, right? And eBay has verified that they are going to be moving forward with that. So this will be something that you will have to build in to the price of the item when you list them up for sale on eBay. It's kind of a shame that they're doing that, especially because the CEO has just announced that they are making extra efforts to extend seller protection for us as sellers. And they seem to do this every few months. And the problem with it is that they never give us any performance information on how well it's working. And this is just an article I read on e-commerce bites about it, where eBay just isn't giving us information on how well those seller protections are working. Even when they get initiated, things like that, it's all like anecdotal evidence. So it's kind of more of like a publicity stunt more than anything on eBay's part. And it really has a lot of sellers fed up. But now for some good news. So recently, as of last year, Toys R Us went out of business. And they went out of business because of e-commerce stores shutting them down because everyone was buying from online and not from Toys R Us. Well, Toys R Us has just announced that they will be opening some new stores. Now, I said this is good news, but I'm not really sure how it's going to impact us as dropshippers. I know a lot of dropshippers did use Toys R Us to dropship from Toys R Us onto eBay or Amazon. Whether that's going to be part of a model going forward, whether Toys R Us is really going to have an online presence, we'll have to see. It really would make sense. I don't understand how they could come back and not address the giraffe in the room, which is that they have to get serious about e-commerce, right? And if they do get serious about e-commerce, that could be a huge benefit for us as dropshippers because we could use them as a new supplier. Toys do really well, especially around the holiday times, around December. So it'd be great to have a resource like Toys R Us out there. And the last bit of news is for anyone who dropships on Walmart. I know a lot of people don't do it, but I know some people that do. They will no longer let sellers charge restocking fees. A lot of companies are getting away with restocking fees anyway, but just keep that in mind. that they're not going to allow that anymore. So let me see who's here in the live chat. If we have any questions, a lot of comments already. So it's going to take me a while to catch up. We have Michael, looks like, and Jackie. What's up, Jackie? Thanks for being here. Let's see. We have Lazy Abram here. What's up? Thrift Store Gold. What is up, guys? Thanks for being here. Loud and clear. Glad you guys can hear me. Okay, so what's the best way to make sure that the customer doesn't know when the item is from Amazon? So this is when you're drop shipping from Amazon to eBay. So the best thing to do is to get a gift receipt. That way they don't see the price. It will still have something in there in the box that says it came from Amazon, and it will probably come in an Amazon box. But here's the thing, they get the box, most people just rip it open and take the item out. They never see the slip of paper inside. And without the price in there, they don't even know how much they even paid for it if they do look at it. So yes, it will tell them it came from Amazon, but we have very, very few customers who actually bring it up to us or complain about it or leave negative feedback about it. So MC says, how do you manage your profit on Amazon when using payability, which takes 2%? So if you're selling on Amazon, one of the biggest hurdles with them is cash flow, because Amazon releases your money only every 2 weeks. So if you wait 2 weeks to get your money, then you don't have the money to fulfill the order. So you need to have credit cards on hand. You can use those credit cards to fulfill your orders. Then once Amazon releases the money to you, you can use that money to pay off your credit cards. But there's another way, and that's with using payability. Payability will actually front you 80% of your daily payouts every single day. So let's just say you made $100 on Amazon in a day, just as this is for simple math. Then payability will give you $80 at the end of the day. And that really helps a lot of people with cash flow issues if they don't have credit cards. Now, PayPal does charge a fee, it's 2%. How do you make up for that? Well, the way payability can work is you actually can get a credit card from them that gives you 2% back. That kind of offsets, or that does offset that 2% fee. So that would be the best way to use it. You just kind of don't factor it in, or factor it in, but then make sure to add back in that 2% cash back that you have. Hey, what's up, Rich? Thanks for being here. When you receive negative feedback, does it phase you out? How often do you strive to get negative feedback removed? So negative feedback as a new seller is a lot more important than if you have an older account with a lot of feedback. After a while, negative feedback doesn't really matter so much. But in the beginning, I do recommend that new sellers try to avoid negative feedback as much as possible. That's the first thing you should do. And then if you do get negative feedback, try to get it removed. So obviously, in order to avoid negative feedback, you want to make sure you're providing good customer service, getting tracking numbers uploaded, keeping track of orders to make sure things are delivered, following up with customers who have complaints. Basic things, just things that you would want as a buyer yourself. And if you do get negative feedback, try to address it with the buyer. A lot of times you can get them to change the negative feedback. A lot of times they leave negative feedback for improper reasons, and eBay, if you call them, they will actually remove it. You don't want to try to abuse that. You don't want to call eBay for every single negative feedback that you get. So always try to work it out with the buyer first, because a lot of the buyers will remove it if you handle the situation with them. Send them a message and say, hey, I didn't know that you had this situation, or I know we tried to work things out before and we didn't handle it correctly. How can we make this right for you? You don't want to tell them that you'll reimburse them or give them a partial discount if they remove the negative feedback, because you're not technically allowed to do that on eBay. But if you get them to be satisfied with the transaction and then ask them to revise the negative feedback, a lot of buyers will. Most people are pretty reasonable. They're not trying to scam you. They're just trying to get the item that they ordered at the price they ordered it for. Hey, what is up, Hector, thanks for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Zane? Zane, I think you're the one. I think you sent me a DM on Instagram. If that was you, I'm going to get back to you about your question. And if you guys have any questions, you don't feel like putting them out publicly underneath one of my YouTube videos, you can send me a message on a DM on DM on Instagram, and I'll respond. I spend way too much time on Instagram every day. So that's the quickest way to get me. Yeah, so PayPal is charging, eBay, under their managed payments, they are charging a percentage fee plus the 25 cents. Oh, so I've never heard of this happening before, but you're saying that PayPal for some reason reversed the monthly fee. So it looks like you're paying your eBay fees with your PayPal account, and that PayPal for some reason reversed it. And now eBay is saying that your account might be restricted because you didn't make a payment. So I would call up eBay and just give them a credit card. Ask them or tell them to recharge it. Or you can actually go in and just make a payment for the same amount. Make sure it actually was reversed first and you actually got your money back. And then just go into eBay and make a one-time payment for the full amount that you owe. And then call them up and say, hey, I made a payment. I'm not sure what happened. I think PayPal screwed something up, but it looks like it's all fixed now. A lot of these problems can be solved just by calling up eBay or PayPal. Okay. Hey, what's up, Johnny? He's over there in New York City. He's one of my neighbors, so to speak, not too far from where I live. Okay, so FBA Moguls has a question about dropshipping. Says, hey, Paul, do you buy the product with a credit card from your supplier, then transfer the PayPal money to your card, or do you transfer it first? Also, what's your normal handling time? So this is a really good question because this confuses a lot of people, and I don't think I've ever really explained my sort of flow of money. So let me kind of break this down. I wish I had a chart prepared for this one. So basically, someone buys an item from me on eBay. The payment is sent to me through PayPal. So now there's money in my PayPal account. Let's say there's like $100 from that order in PayPal. I've set up my PayPal account, and you can do this too, to automatically withdraw all the money in it except for $2,000. I leave $2,000 in the account in case of returns on eBay. So I leave everything but $2,000 gets withdrawn from it every other day. So that $100 will be withdrawn and put into my checking account, my business checking account. So now it's moved from from PayPal over to my checking account. So it sits in there. Now, in the meantime, I use my credit card to purchase the item from my supplier. And then my supplier ships the item to the customer who bought it from me on eBay. Then every couple of days, I pay off my credit card, my business credit card. And the way I pay it off is with my business checking account. I don't pay it off with PayPal. I pay it off with my business checking account. So the workflow, the money flow goes, the money comes into PayPal. It moves over to my business checking account with my bank. And then I use that money to pay off my business credit card. And I prefer to keep as much money as I can out of PayPal because I find that my banks, I've never had a problem with my banks. I've never had a problem with PayPal either, but I prefer to keep my money in the banks. I find they're much safer, just my opinion of it. And, you know, the FDIC insured. I'm sure PayPal is FDIC insured. I'm not sure about that. Maybe one of you guys can look it up and let me know. But either way, I'd never want them to lock me out of my money. I've had them temporarily lock me out as I've gone through verification processes, things like that. Nothing was too big of a deal, but still they locked me out of my money, and I prefer to have it somewhere that I know it's safe inside my bank. And then I use the bank to pay off the credit cards. Okay. Do you recommend monitoring a product you sold just in case your supplier reduces the price of it after you purchase it from the supplier? Yes, some suppliers will do that, like Walmart and Home Depot. Would you still use a site that doesn't have tax exemptions but doesn't include invoices? Yes, I would. So the thing is, this is what you need to keep in mind. I like if a website gives you the option to become tax exempt, I like that because that can lower the cost of the item for me. But keep in mind that if a website is charging you sales tax, that means it's charging everyone else sales tax as well. So you're just going to have to adjust for that when you list the item up for sale, and so is everyone else. So it's not like you're going to be less competitive than other people who are drop shipping from the same website. Is BeFrugal a great cashback website? Yeah, BeFrugal is one that I use. I like it a lot. Cashback websites are basically a website you go to, and if you go on that website and click through it and get over to another website like Amazon or Home Depot, you can get cash back for all the items you purchase on Home Depot through BeFrugal. Yeah, so payability, I haven't looked in probably a couple months, but last time I looked, they do require a certain amount of sales and a certain time period that you've been selling before they offer their service. And this is only for drop shipping on Amazon, by the way. Payability, you don't need it for eBay. Oh, good question, Rich. So how do I handle Home Depot returns when the item was purchased with a Home Depot gift card? So when you purchase something with a gift card on Home Depot, then when you return the item, Home Depot will just email you a new gift card for that amount. That's all we do. We get those gift cards. I have a VA go in once a week at the end of the week and go through all of the emails and copy down copy down the gift card number and the PIN number into a spreadsheet. And then we use those over the weekend or on Monday to fulfill all the next orders. So I guess what Rich's question might be more of like, you're buying a bunch of items from Home Depot, you have to return a number of items, and now all of a sudden you have all these gift cards being emailed to you. You may have like a dozen a week. I mean, that could be a lot. Some of them might be for like $25, some for $50, some for a couple $100. The important thing is you got to put in a system here, because it is very easy to misplace one of those gift card numbers, or for you to not realize that you skipped one in the email inbox, and all of a sudden there's $30 just kind of sitting there that's never going to get used. So you got to have a system in place so that you don't miss any of those cards, any of those emails that are sent to you. What I do is I've set up a filter on Gmail. So anytime I get a gift card emailed to me from Home Depot because of return, it goes into a certain folder. Then my virtual assistant goes in, clicks on it, gets the new card number, the PIN number, puts in the spreadsheet, and then it's marked as read, and they star it so that we know it's been done. And then they move on to the next one and repeat the process. So I can go in, if they see one of them wasn't starred, they double check to see, oh, did I do this one? Or did I forget this one? Or did I just forget to star it? It's very important to have those systems so that you don't lose like $20, $30 on one of those gift cards that just got lost. Okay. If I already have an Amazon seller account and sell an FBA, can I do drop shipping with the same account? Yes, you can. You just have to have different Yeah, because with FBA, all the policies will be different, like the returns, for instance. Let's see. We can't use. Okay, so someone's asking how you move from one repricing software over to another one. Most of the repricing softwares that you use, they should allow you to download all the items that you have in them. So just click that button or contact them, ask them, hey, can I download all my orders? Sorry, not all my orders, all your items. They'll give you a spreadsheet, and then you should be able to upload those over to your new one. If you're moving over to SKUGrid, they actually have somewhere on their system that will kind of walk you through how to do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it in like a couple of seconds, but what it does is it's kind of a neat way that it works. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it right now because I'm not logged into SKUGrid, but you have to go in, and there's actually a couple buttons you can press that will automatically move the listings from your old software over to SKUGrid. Can you remove invoices from Walmart orders? You can't. You don't have the option to do it, but a lot of times they don't come with invoices. David says, so where are you making most of your money? YouTube or eBay, Amazon? Definitely not from YouTube. I don't make a ton from them. It's definitely gone up. I think I make about let's see, about like $900 a month. But then I buy stuff for the channel, like video equipment. I put some of that money and give it to video editors to edit stuff. And at the end, I really don't have a lot left from the YouTube channel. And Johnny's right. We got to have a meetup here in South Florida. Okay. So recommendations for business checking account and business credit card. Love this question because I really like personal finance. As geeky as that sounds, it's kind of a side passion of mine. So definitely my favorite business checking and credit card combo would be Capital One. Capital One has some really, really awesome credit cards, specifically the Spark cards. There are two versions of it. One will give you 2% back in points. One will give you 2% cash back. I use the cash back. If you travel a lot, you might want the 2% back in points. Both are pretty cool, I think. And there's actually a calculator on the website so you can see how much you would make each year, depending on how much money you're putting through your credit card. And as you imagine, as dropshippers putting tens of thousands of dollars through your credit cards every single month, those points really, really do add up really fast. Now, some other recommendations. Wells Fargo is okay. The reason I've been using them, or I used them in the past, was because when I first started my business didn't have much credit history at all. Or didn't have any credit history at all. So getting a business credit card was impossible for me at first. I applied and got denied. Wells Fargo allowed me to open up what's called a secured credit card. A secured credit card is where you put some money, basically it's collateral. It's money you put in almost like an escrow account. So Wells Fargo held on to $5,000 of my money, and then in return, they gave me a credit card with a $5,000 limit. I would pay off that credit card as normal every single month, just like any other credit card, with the catch that if I defaulted on it, they would take the money out of that collateral, that escrow account. Now that card's been closed, it was automatically turned into a regular credit card. And when that happened, they released that $5,000 over to me. So I got that money back once the card closed out. That's why, and that gave you 1.5% cash back, unlimited. So that's the reason I like that one, although I'm not crazy about the Wells Fargo website. Wells Fargo has also done some kind of shady things in the recent years. So just keep those things in mind. The things I would look for in a good credit card are any fees that the credit card charges. Now, for dropshippers, as a dropshipper, I'm not terribly concerned about the fees. Like, for instance, the Capital One card charges a $95 a year fee. Is that right? Yeah. But keep in mind, I'm making a lot of money in cash back, so it's worth it. Because that brings me to number 2, which is there any sign-up bonus? And you want to see if it comes with any sign-up bonus. The Capital One card did. It was I forget what it was. Maybe it was like $500. I got $500 or $200 if I spend a certain amount in the first couple months. You have to see, because these things always change. But the most important thing is, what are the ongoing benefits? Because this is up to you. I mean, you could get a new credit card every 3 or 4 months and just churn credit cards, just taking advantage of those sign-up bonuses. You could do that. I know people who do that, and they get like crazy travel points doing that. But for me, it's not where I wanted to spend my time. I just wanted to get one card or 2 cards that just worked all year long and gave me the biggest benefit. So the Capital One card gives me 2% back just always. It's not 2% back in a certain category for only a certain months up to a certain dollar limit. That's what you really have to look out for. Some of them will promise you like 3% back, but only up to like the first $2,000 in purchases for the year. You don't want that. You want 2% back flat, no matter what, no matter how much you spend. And those are the really, really good cards like the Capital One. Do I recommend Home Depot? That's where I do a lot of drop shipping from. I love drop shipping from Home Depot. LOL says, what else would a virtual assistant do for you? A virtual assistant can do pretty much anything for you. So for me, they list items, they fulfill orders, they do customer service, all of that. Okay, I wanted to answer some questions that I had saved up from the week. Again, these are people who asked questions in the comments section of one of my videos, or send me an email or a DM. So this question is, this student of mine sold something through the global shipping program, and then the buyer opened a return case before the item was even delivered. And the buyer wants to return it because the item won't work in their home country because of the voltage. The thing is, this seller, my student, put inside the description of this item that it won't work. There's no guarantee that it will work in another country because of the voltage. So now eBay is saying that they have to pay, my student has to pay to have the item shipped back. Now, you do not have to pay to ship the item back. What happens is somebody opens up a return case, they open it under a bogus reason, and I saw the rest of the exchange, the buyers admitting that they are just asking if they can return it, it's very obvious that this is the buyer's fault. The buyer should have read what it said. So what you need to do is call eBay and explain all of that to them. Explain that you clearly put in there the voltage. By the time the buyer called you to complain about it, the item was already at the global shipping program. There is nothing you could do, and you gladly take it back if the buyer pays to ship it back. And eBay should side with you. I've had cases like this in the global shipping program close against me, and I've called eBay and have had them reverse. So just keep that in mind. But it's a good thing you protected yourself by putting in the correct language, by sending out the correct messages, just like I show in the course. So that's really what protected you here, because if you hadn't done that, you would have been in a lot more trouble. Okay. Okay. All right, so another question I have here is from Melody. Melody's been leaving a lot of comments, so thank you, Melody. She says, wow, what an eye-opener. You have changed my world, and with just the free things I've gotten from your great videos, I have almost $100 more than I did last week when I found you on YouTube. For me, okay, So the rest of the comments not really relevant. But I just wanted to share that. A big shout out to Melody for all the comments and for sharing her success. I really appreciate all those comments like that. Michael wants to know if there's a way to get eBay to charge less than 10%. So yes, you could sign up for what's called a store subscription, and that will drop from 10% down to 9.15%. Witty username says, okay, you've hired a virtual assistant to fulfill orders for you, or multiple virtual assistants. How do you prevent two virtual assistants from ordering the same item? You got to have systems in place. So you could actually have one virtual assistant do it. I've actually moved all my stores over to having only one virtual assistant placing orders. And that helps so much with just the streamlining of of the whole process of selling. So all my stores, they only have one virtual assistant who places orders. So they know where they left off. They know where to start back up. They each kind of have their own system. I gave them guidelines on the system I want them to use, but they kind of adapted it to their own usage, which is fine with me as long as I can figure out what they're doing. So basically what we do, the easiest way is every day we can download from eBay all the new orders. And you can do all the new orders since the last time you downloaded them. This is all done in the file exchange. That way, if you do it right every time, you're not going to duplicate any orders. Okay. I picked up the Spark business card at your recommendation. Yeah, it's a great card. This is another great point that we should bring up. So Smith Phillip says, I actually use Amex High Yield Saving as my business account only for eBay. This lets me get a little interest while the money is being held to pay the credit cards off. Great point with the high interest savings account. So most banks, when you put your money in them, they use that money to loan out to other people and they make money on it. And in exchange, they give you a little bit interest on it. And when I say a little bit, I mean really little bit. And it's gotten smaller and smaller as time goes on. So if you can get a high yielding one, those ones are the best. And usually the best ones are online banks. I think the two that really stand out are Charles Schwab and Ally Bank. I use Ally. I think Charles Schwab is a little bit higher right now. Really, the amount is so little, but almost on principle, I'm not going to put my money into an account or most of my money into an account that I'm not going to make any money on it. Now, Ally Bank's not a business account. That's just where I put my personal money, or some of it at least. Rich says we're going to have a pool meetup conference at Johnny's house. Bring your own pool floaty. I got a unicorn one I could bring. Somebody, I just scrolled too fast, but I saw someone ask a question about the SKU fetch templates. SKU fetch comes with templates, and yes, I use those ones. Okay. So let's see another question I had. Got that one already. How do you handle returns with Amazon dropshipping? I know Amazon usually returns through UPS. So when you're dropshipping onto Amazon, you are going to handle the returns yourself by getting a return label from your supplier like Walmart and giving that return label to your customer, who will then ship it directly back to Walmart. So you're not going to get return labels through Amazon. Tim says, hey, Paul, do you play yourself during these broadcasts or do you have a stand-in stunt double? I actually, we have a a deep fake technology at hand. So we just have random people come in and just have my face superimposed onto their body. Okay, another question. Got that one. Okay. Brian asks, can anyone help me understand why big eBay sellers have multiple eBay accounts? I have one currently with 950 listings, but I just don't understand why people do multiple accounts. Is there a benefit to it? Thanks for your help. So the benefit to that is that it kind of can spread out some of your risk. That's what some people do it for. Another benefit is if you're using different suppliers. So if you're using, let's say, Walmart and Home Depot, you might want to keep those in separate accounts, and it just kind of helps keep things kind of organized. That's up to you if you want to do it that way. Some people feel that accounts can only grow so big before you have to create a second account, and that's really the only way to scale up. To be honest, I kind of agree with that. I feel like after a certain point, it's very difficult to scale up an account, especially on eBay. I just always found like the 100K mark to be kind of a cap on things unless you make a big strategy change. So it's strange. Like you can do the same strategy and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow up to 100, and then you kind of just get like stuck there. You can make like a dramatic change and get past that, but if you wanted to use the same strategy, I feel like you almost have to start a new account in order to do that. It's just been kind of my experience, and I know a lot of people. I've talked about this with other big sellers, and they feel same way as well. Tim says, joking, I love your free material. I'm starting to make some money from your advice. My goal is to make enough to buy your course. Awesome. Okay. Next question. I started dropshipping in February. I've scaled up to $40,000 or $50,000 a month. You have been an enormous help. I really do appreciate all your content, so thank you for that. And I want to give a big shout out to one of my students who just sent me this message the other day saying that they've made about $51,000 with dropshipping on eBay since they started the course in, when was this? Mid-April. April, May, June, July. So in just 3 months, $51,000. So big congratulations to him. Okay. All right, guys, so that's all I have time for today. But if you guys have any questions that I didn't get to answer, make sure to leave them in the comment section of any of my videos. If you got some value out of this, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up, smash that like button down below. If you're one of my students, you can just ask the question inside the private Facebook group, and that way I can see it faster and address it quicker. Thanks so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.